which data collection methods can you use? Mine is whether you are following ethical principles, whether you are doing the monitoring and doing evaluation within that research. Are you following the ethical principles? But on a technical point of view, if you are doing evaluation studies, which I know, what kind of methods you can use in data collection, depending on what kind of instrument you are designing and what research design you will come up with. But with evaluation studies, which you normally do as a result of a 5-year program implementation, because you want to determine extent to which the program implementation has achieved some target, maybe sit in agriculture and all that. And you want to do some assessment, you need to do some evaluation. Of course, quantitative and qualitative methods are useful, but where you want to find out whether this project has achieved its target and objective, maybe you can even do some achievement tests as an instrument you can use. You can administer some questionnaire with some question items that target information you collect from testing the information, whether the people who are managing that project, whatever, have the information on what has been done. So you can design the items that target collecting information on the knowledge these people have over the implementation of this project for some time. Or you can also look at their attitude, what attitude they have toward the implementation of this project. So you design your question items with the scales that will test whether some rate of attitude can also be seen. So my question to you back is that, are you following any ethics, even when you are collecting that information, knowledge from those participants? Are you responding on ethical issues, their knowledge? Do you have, can you keep their information confidential? Can you relate with them very well, that you're open enough, that if you have declared your intention for these evaluation studies and so forth? That's the much I can do. You can add.
Thank you. We want to keep time, and we want to feel that the response is adequate. Otherwise, a lot of existing literature was used as a methodology. I don't see Dr. Bartolai in the house, but we have the two professors in the house, but they are in a consultation. Meanwhile, as they consult, who has not received the coupon, the lunch coupon? I also have not received. I'll also go for lunch. But for whoever have the coupon, immediately we are done, we shall move to the Academia, Hotel Academia, for lunch, and we want to be seated by 2:30 or earlier than 2:30. We want to request our professors to respond to the issues raised, and in the course of that, also respond to, let us know, in Pakistan, how is transgender identified? In Kenya, it is almost illegal to even mention. Okay. So I'm guided that we be seated by 2:15 after lunch, after the professors have responded.
Thank you, Madam. Who asked a question about the transgender? Can you have asked a question about the transgender?
Dr.
Sorry,
Rogo?
I need your attention. You have asked the question about the transgender. Actually, the issue is that in developing countries, I am talking about the Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, and Thailand, Asian developing countries, not African developing countries. Most of the transgender, they actually are basically cross-dressers, not transgenders. They consider this transgender as a profession. They convert into the transgender, enter into the transgender community, stay there for 8 to 10 years, and after and many legal or illegal ways. And after 10, 12 years, they convert back to their gender like a male. And according to the Act of Pakistan 2018, if a person asks him that I am a transgender, then you have to consider this person as a transgender. And they cannot surrender their status of transgender. We are arguing that the general community, general public have to develop the acceptability of the transgenders in the society. That we have to accept them. They don't have to surrender their status. We have to develop a capacity of mutual existence, a coexistence. We have to accept them and consider them as a part of the society, and they will engage as a productive person of the society, to involve them in a decent work and to engage them in a productive and innovative entrepreneurships. And we have to develop our acceptability and increase our acceptability level. They don't have to surrender their status. Thank you. I think it's enough. Okay.
Because both of us are working on this thing, I will add something to Majid's comments. There is a story, in fact. We were inviting a legal, he is actually a professor, legal expert, what we call it, can call it. He is a professor in law, and we wanted to hear from him about the status of this transgender community in Pakistan. And he said, we don't recognize this term transgender, and you should just kill them, because they are the men dressing like women or women dressing like men, and they're hiding their identity, and they don't need any rights. What we are doing, what we argue is that being a human being, if you are a human being, you have got certain fundamental rights that need to be protected, regardless of whether you are following the national rules, religious rules, national laws, religious laws or not. That is another discussion. If they are doing something against national laws or against religious laws, you will have to proceed on different lines against them in order to take corrective measures. But being a human being, if they have got certain rights, that they need to be protected. They need to be provided with those rights. This is what we are doing. Now let's come to this domestic work. First was your question about this domestic work. Our study has found, and I have repeatedly reinforced that point, focused on that point, that this formalization of informal work, that is the basic thing which is required. Of course, we don't have any laws. We have got in every district, in every city, we have got a social welfare department, which is a government-run department, and they are responsible for protecting the rights of all the workers, all the different communities living in that society. But we don't have any particular laws. We have got labor laws, basic labor laws to protect the rights of the communities. But the problem is this domestic work, as I have shown in my presentation. Majority of the people in Pakistan and around the globe, even in developing countries, they don't recognize. We have experienced in UK, people were coming from the Eastern European countries, and they were performing domestic work. If the minimum wage rate was 10 pounds per hour at that time, they were being paid 2 to 3 pounds per hour, but they were ready to work because still the condition of living, the status of living was better than they were experiencing in Romania or other Eastern European countries. So the problem exists not only in Pakistan or developing countries, but the other developed countries as well. And the solution is we need to formalize that work. We need to recognize domestic work as a formal form of work, and they should have all those rights that any worker has, like social security benefits, and then paid leaves and all those rights that a formal worker or laborer is being provided with. So formalization of informal work is the first thing, and before it, what we can call quick fixes. Among those quick fixes are the prospects that I talked about. Their collaboration, making collaboration among them, and workers, if they join together, they form informal relationships, informal groups, they can protect their rights. If they are alone, they cannot, but if they are working together, there is a chance that they can protect their rights. Just briefly, I will answer your question because we have got only 15 minutes for lunch. That was actually not about this domestic work, but in Western countries or in developing countries, when we are exporting our textile and garments to those countries, they are imposing restrictions from their side that even in our own labor laws, they protect child labor, they protect, they prevent this child labor. But if we are exporting something to the European countries or the other developing countries, we need to focus on their standards. If they say that there shouldn't be any child of below this particular age limit, if they say that there shouldn't be more than 8 working hours, or the conditions of living should be this way, our factories, our organizations, they are actually following those guidelines or principles. Otherwise, they are not accepting the work. There is an example of the retail chain Primark in UK. They refused to buy from some of the sellers in Pakistan and China because of, they were not protecting the labor rights. So it happens, yes. Thank you.
Sante sana, makofi kwa kila mtu. In the interest of time, please let's go for lunch and be seated by the chair has a...
Yeah. Let's be seated here by 2:30. So we have just 30 minutes to bite something. The VC could be here.